Introduction to Identity Maturation Framework. Hi, I'm Julia, and I'm here to introduce the Identity Maturation Framework. So, this is a model that explores levels of maturity. When we've worked with people before, we have found that the way they've been brought up as children, their personality, their gender, their race, all of those factors influence how people perceive the world and therefore how they act in the world. Our experience suggests that those factors are important, but actually maturity is the big deal. Maturity really makes a difference in how we relate to the world, what sense we make of it, how much agency and courage we might have in the world, and how we act. So let's look at maturity. Our framework is built on the idea that as we mature and grow, we take more identities into ourselves. This is an idea that we've taken from existential philosophy, in particular the work of Steve Biko, Heidegger, and Jean-Paul Sartre. So the idea that when we are younger and less mature, we have one identity. For example, we are a cook. Then what we do in the world needs to be organized around this one identity. As we grow and mature, we have more than one identity. We become a cook, a mother. We become an IT software development person. We become a gardener. And all of these identities grow as we mature. The more identities we have, the more agility we have in the world. So the Identity Maturation Framework measures how many identities we have inside and how much agility we might have in the world. So this is the way we measure maturity. We've taken this idea of multiple identities and we've combined it with the very rigorous research done in Harvard in the 70s, 80s, and 90s around maturity, in particular around the work of Loevinger and Kukard, who explore what maturity looks like at different levels. Another way of understanding maturity is the higher up the mountain you go, the further you see. So when you're in the valley, you can see the streams and the plants, but you can't really see the valley next door. As you climb up the side of the mountain, you can see further. You can see the next valley and possibly even the horizon. And this gives you a lot more information to direct and manage your life. You can see what's coming up in the future, you can see what happened in the past, and you can use all of this new information to make sense of your world and direct it. So I thought it might be useful to give you a practical example of how maturity works in life, or identity works in life. And so I'm going to read just briefly the story about Joseph, who's at a very particular level of maturity. So Joseph works in a tire factory in South Africa. He's a technical guy. He uses toolkits and he uses numbers to make sense of his world. He doesn't think he's got a lot of feelings. His understanding of feelings is very limited. He knows he gets angry sometimes, but he's not sure what the other feelings are that he might have. He doesn't think he has any experience in dealing with feelings. Feelings is not for Joseph. Joseph thinks feelings belong to other people because he is a quantitative and kind of fact guy. He's a fact guy. He doesn't deal in the currency of feelings. So Joseph's wife was pregnant and she had a miscarriage. So Joseph wasn't sure what to do because version of himself was that he wasn't a feelings guy, that he didn't know how to deal with the world of feelings. He was a quantitative guy. He was good at dealing with factual, quantitative problems. So Joseph patted his wife on her arm and said to her, "You're going to be okay." He didn't know what to do with the crying. He phoned her mother to come and comfort her, and then he went out of the room to fix the car. So here we have a story of a man called Joseph who has a version of himself, his identity. And this identity doesn't include the ability to deal with feelings like sadness and grief. So he just finds a more conventional response, pats her on the arm, and he goes to fix the car. The car is a happy place for Joseph. It's part of his identity. It's technical, it behaves, and generally cars aren't emotional. So this is how maturity works, how identity works, is our identity guides us in our lives. If Joseph thought he could deal with feelings, or if he thought he might have feelings of grief and sadness in the same way as his wife had, perhaps he would have responded a little bit differently. Perhaps then he would have been able to provide a more empathic and emotional response to his wife's grief. Just an example of how this framework works. It tells us how people are likely to think in a particular context, such as Joseph's.